What up, everybody? It's PapaStones coming back with another video. So today we had a 2K event up in Portland. It was at Guardian Games. There were 60 players. I ended up placing second, losing in the finals. So I wanted to go over my deck list and maybe talk about the games I played, matchups, whatever, and just kind of a general overview as to how the day went. So we're gonna do the deck first. I'll post the link to like an image of it online in the description. So if you want to just check that out, you can, and you can skip if you want to hear about matches, or you can just check the list, whatever works. We're gonna jump into it. So I'm gonna move this real quick. Oh boy. So I played Krennic Green. Yeah, that is ECL Krennic Green. It seemed solid. It's what I ended up going with, so that's what we played. We're gonna move those out of the way. And I got a couple proxies in here because I borrowed cards, but we'll get over that. 3 Inferno 4. It's 2 drops, they're good. I played 3 Regional Governor main deck. This card was nuts 90% of the time. There was a couple times where it felt pretty dead, but you can just resource it. But being able to call like big ships and control matchups, or fire sprays against Boba, or surprise strikes when you need to survive, like things like that. Like the card put in a lot of work. I called Super Laser Blast against a control when I knew they had 2 in hand, like things like that. It feels really good, and having 4 is kind of a pain to deal with. And triple probe droid. I wanted enough stuff low to the ground where I'd hopefully see a playable turn 1, and the hand knowledge is super good because you can, like, if you're on the play, you can probe droid turn 1, and then if you have a governor, you know what they have, and you can call a resupply or a super laser depending if they're like trying to ramp and things like that. But moving on, we got triple resupply and triple laser tech. Ramp, you want to see one in your opener so you can get to your Krennic pretty much as fast as possible, just so you can start restoring and doing other things. In most matchups, it's good to have it out early. There was one game where I didn't play it till like not turn 8, but like 8 resources, but 90% of the time I'd say I was flipping it as soon as I could. Triple dark side. This is like pseudo control, by the way. It's not like hard control like the Vader blues and stuff. Obviously, there's a lot of units and there's some control aspects, but it's not as absurd as some of the higher end stuff. But yeah, the triple dark side, triple cell block. It's cell block. Triple death trooper. Card was super good today. Then 2 Star Viper. It was okay. There was like maybe one match where it healed me a decent amount, but other than that, it didn't really perform. Granted, I didn't see it a lot, but most of the time I found myself resourcing it. 2 System Patrol Craft. It was good into Boba, but most other matchups it felt meh. Double Takedown. Same kind of concept. I found myself citing it out a lot. Like, it's really good against Sabine, but I personally didn't play against a lot of Sabine, even though there was a decent amount out there. But there's not a lot that it feels good against, like, past mid-range, because, like, it doesn't it doesn't deal with fire spray. Sure, if the fire spray's hit, you can deal with it then, but it just doesn't feel great. 2 Traitorous. This was for Sabine, for Boba. You can do crazy things with it. It didn't always stay in, but there was times where it was really good. 3 Overwhelming Barrage, the best part of playing Green Villainy. Really, that is the best part. 1 Vanquish, because it just didn't feel good at 2 in the main because it didn't always come up, but I have a second one in the side that came in a lot of games because I didn't expect to see as much like high-end decks, but I did. So whoops. 2 Steadfast. I could have played 3. I maybe wanted to when I was playing against Boba, but when I played against it recent, like in my top cut, I ended up seeing it both games and it was good there. But other than that, it maybe 3, but debatable. 2 Gideon. Same kind of concept. It's a great ECL target, and like against Sabine, you don't have to have the steadfast, so you can ECL this out and get an XP. Like, that feels better into Sabine almost, but that's just me. Triple cargo juggernaut. It's basically like, I feel like this is I wouldn't say better because they're different, but it's like this deck's vigilance, but you're maintaining board presence, so you can have an overwhelming barrage target. You can technically ECL it out if you need to. Heals you 4 if you have a blue unit. It saved my ass once or twice, so I definitely liked this card a lot more than I liked vigilance in the main. Yeah. Triple Vader. Proxied one. I borrowed one of those too. Vader's Vader. Really, what can you say? So many times where you just play a Vader, rip the Death Trooper, and you can basically hit for 7. Or you can technically, if it's going to die anyways, you can ping it and the unit and hit it for 8 kind of thing, because credit gives everything +1 that's damage. Double Reinforcement Walker. It's late game draw, it's late game heal, depending on what you need. It's just super flexible. And then my 2 proxied Relentless, because I apparently don't own any, which is bizarre considering it's just rare, but it was either this or Avenger, and I felt like Relentless was better because events kind of are real big. Like, Boba Yellow plays a ton, every control deck's playing a ton. Like, the Relentless seemed better mainboarded than Avengers, so I went with the Relentless, and that is the main deck. It's 50 straight. And then side deck, I went, it's kind of all over the place to be honest, but it all makes sense. I went 1 restock just in case there was a game where I had to play this and it would have panned out. We'll get to that later though. Double make an opening. This is for Boba specifically, like, because it deals with Crafty Smuggler and the 7th Fleet Defender, because you don't have to worry about trading it, you just minus it. Who cares if it's got shield, you know? 1 more takedown just to deal with Sabine, things that are lower to the ground, so it comes in sometimes. Didn't come in a lot actually though, but it came in I think against my Sabine matchup, and that's pretty much it. 1 more Vanquish. That came in a lot actually because of all the control style matchups I had to play against. Deals with Fire Spray, Devastators, stuff like that. 2 Vigilance. I borrowed the other one. This was kind of to get me into the fact that I can play like a stally control game if I have to. So they came in a few times. They put in work. Like, it's really good against Sabine. You know, healing 5, killing off one of their guys. The control mirror, like hard control mirror, I guess, where you're, you know, milling each other and whatnot. That and restock. Yeah. 1 Super Laser Blast, also proxied, because why would I own these cards? You know, I don't have a lot of stuff, but whatever. 1 Super Laser Blast. Originally, it was supposed to be open deck list, so I realistically put it in there because I was like, oh, they'll know what I'm playing. They'll see a Super Laser, so they'll play around it, kind of thing. But against the hard control matchups and like the Vaders and stuff like that, I ended up siding it in just in case. And I think I had maybe played it once, but I sided it quite a few times. And then 2 Avenger, just to have a higher top end. Like, I can keep Relentless, I can keep Avengers. I'd maybe debate throwing Devastators in, because there were times where I wish I had one, but I'm not sure what I would cut. yeah, so that is the deck I played. I'm gonna swing this back up to me real quick. Oh, there we go. So matchups wise, I got it written down. Game one, I played against Luke Green. I 2-0'd that. It was, I mean, the guy was real nice, but he was, trying something out kind of thing. It wasn't like super, I mean, like meta or anything like that, so I can't blame the guy. Like I said, super nice guy. He played, I forget what the card's called, honestly. Guardian of the Wills or something like that makes your upgrades cheaper. And I was like, alright. Then he plays a Jedi lightsaber on it, makes it a 5/5. I ramped up. He starts the next turn, he plays another one on it, so it's an 8/8, and I'm like, this is kind of getting terrifying. And I realize I'm at 5 resources and I have a traitorous in hand, so there was that. Other than that, just kind of a standard match. Game 2, I played against Sabine Red. So the dude was a pretty solid player. It was, I think I won game 1, lost game 2, won game 3 or something like that. But yeah, like I just couldn't. The game I lost, it was rough. Like he played Saw Gerrera on 4 almost every time, and it felt horrible to work around. Like, I was sitting on a takedown one game, and it's like he plays Saw, and it's like, well, if I leave up the if I leave up the Saw and take down the Sabine, the Saw's still alive, it's gonna hit me for 5, like things like that. So it kind of puts you in like an awkward spot, but I ended up winning that one. Game 3, I played against Boba Blue. We actually tied this one. It was 1-1, and this tournament they went with the non-standard way, that like no double loss. It was like kind of how they do in Magic, where draws are worth 1 point and wins are worth 3. I don't know. I liked the person I was playing against, but it kind of felt bad. I get it, there's tournament money on the line, and but we were in the last game. Time and round gets called, and we're in the last action phase, and I put him down to 29, so I needed 1 damage, and he legit had 1 card left in deck. So if we would have still been playing, he would have drawn and he would have lost, like things like that. So that one kind of, excuse me. That one, it kind of felt bad, but at the same time, it didn't end up mattering. And like I said, I don't blame him. Money on the line. You take the draw. You'd rather take 1 point than 0, even though the game's realistically over. Game 4, I played against Vader Green. That one was a nail biter, because if I remember, it was either the first or second game. I was at 20, and I was kind of like progressively trying to get back in the game, and like he'd play a unit, I'd clear it, kind of thing, and never actually attacked my base at that point because he didn't have units, kind of thing. And I, in 4 turns, went from 20 to 24 with just Vader pings. And I was like, okay, well, I'm probably dead. Like, unless I have something here, because I was holding onto a cargo jug forever, but I didn't have a blue unit. That's when I guess Vigilance would have felt a little better. But I ended up drawing a Gideon. So I played Gideon on, for 5. And then he played something, I don't remember, and I cargo jugged back to 20, kind of just restabilized from there, ended up winning. I don't remember much about game 2, but I think that one was pretty close too, to be honest, but I don't fully recall. Game 5, I played against Vader Blue. There was a lot of Vader there today, by the way. So I played Vader Blue, like the hard control list. Game 1 was average-ish, kind of quick for what a control matchup I thought was going to be. But I had a pretty decent opening, and theirs was okay, I guess. Kind of rolled through it. And then game 2, I legit slaughtered it, and it felt so nice, because, like, I hate playing against that matchup, because it's just, like, generally speaking, it's not fun, for me at least. Like, just in general, like, no matter what deck I'm playing, I feel like playing against Vader Blue isn't fun. But, yeah, so, I don't even remember how it started, but, you know, I was playing units on curve, and they played a child sin on 4 for 6, and I, power the dark side it, and then we get to, like, 5 resources, I governor and call vigilance, so there's no healing coming in, and I'm still swinging at base, and yada yada. We're getting there, kind of working our way around it, you know. And then turn, I think like 7, or I say turn, but I mean resource, by the way. Resource 7. I've seen 2 super laser blasts in hand, from one from a child's in reveal and 2 from a probe droid. And so I end up swapping governors, basically. I just, you know, she claims, and, you know, like, alright, well, they're gonna blast to save themselves. They're pretty low on HP. So I just play a new governor, I call blast, and they scoop it up. So that was, then game 6, I played Vader Green, and I got 2-0'd very swiftly. He was, just rolled me, like, I can look back, because I'm curious, don't mind me just flipping through pages here. I mean, I guess game 1 was kind of close. I had him at 17, he was on ECL, so I mean, I was close-ish, but then game 2, it was just kind of like a beat down. So yeah, then we cut to top, and it was, like I said, I think it was top 8, and then it was, I think I was technically 6th, because I was 4-1-1, which was, you know, average. I was kind of nervous I wasn't going to make it. I was going to get bubbled out because of that tie, but didn't end up happening, luckily. So top 8, I'll say first off, the top 8 ended up being, it was, hold on, phone. The top 8 was, there was 3 Boba Yellow, 2 Vader Green, 1 Han Green, I'm pretty sure. This is the only one I'm not 100%, but pretty sure 1 Han Green, and then 1 Boba Green, and me on Krennic Green. So, yeah, that was the top 8. And then, so game 1 I played Boba Yellow, or my top 8 match, I played Boba Yellow, and I 2-0'd that. It was honestly, like, really rough. Like, I knew this deck had a pretty solid matchup into it, but, like, the dude played really well, and I was just able to, like, squeak by. Like, I was like a one hit from death in both games kind of concept. Like, I had to governor call surprise strike a few times. Like, that saved me. I knew he had one waiting, I think the second game, or I thought, I didn't actually know, but I had a feeling the way he was playing that he had one waiting for me. So, like, he attacks with fire spray, puts me down to, I think, 20, well, no, yeah, 20, and he has 2 crafty smugglers. So I played cell block guard, and he shoots first to kill it, and I'm like, okay, so he's got to have it, you know. So I'm like, what can I do? And I traitorous to take the other one, and he's got no, like, re-readied units. And from there, I had enough to kill him, and I was like, okay, well, that feels bad. Like, I mean, I played that, like, I'm not gonna say that I, played better, but I think my deck performed better there. Um, so yeah, and then my top 4 match, I played another Boba Yellow. That one wasn't as horrible, but it was a 2-1. Um, so game 1, if I remember, it was kind of just a slaughter. He ended up scooping on like turn 7 or something, hold 7 resources. Um, just because like there was no time limit in the top cut either, but he ended up scooping because he was so far behind from where I was that there was no point, kind of thing. Like, I get it. And then game 2, I thought I had won. I had him at 25, I think, 23 maybe, I don't know. And I have a Relentless on the board, and he's got 8 resources or 7 or something like that. And so it had to be at least 8. Yeah, it had to be 8. So I had a Relentless, but no Sentinel in the space unit, and I had 17 on my base, and he had a 7th Fleet Defender up, and I had no real way to clear it, so I was just like, alright, well, I'll just claim, because I'm pretty much out of resources, there's nothing I can do. He waylays, which fizzles out because of the Relentless, and I'm like, okay, well, if he's got Cunning and Surprise Strike or Shoot First or whatever. No, it had to be Shoot First because of mana cost. So 3, yeah, so he's at 8. So he waylays. I was like, okay, I guess if he's got Cunning, Shoot First, he wins. And sure as shit, he plays Cunning, gives him +4. And I'm like, okay. And he Shoot First and hits me again, and I'm dead. So went to game 3, and that was another how it felt game 1, like kind of a slaughter. Like, he flips Boba, I have Steadfast, like I've cleared all his units like multiple turns in a row, and it ended up being like I beat down after that. But shout outs to all those guys, man. Everybody at the event played really well. And then the finals, I played against another Vader Green. It was not the guy I played in round 6. That guy was undefeated in Swiss, but ended up losing in top 8, I'm pretty sure. But I was playing another guy who was also playing Vader Green, and I got 2-0'd again. That one felt bad. It's just, I don't know if I don't have enough matchup knowledge with it or what, but yeah, it got out of hand. Like, I felt like I played alright. Like game 2, he was, I can tell you kind of a gist. So in game 2, I had him at 20, and I was at 5. And I want to say I had like a cargo jug with some damage, 2 death troopers, and I just played a regional governor, and he had a devastator on board. And so I played the governor, and I called reinforcement walker, because with the way my hand was and the way my board was, if he could clear 1 unit, I would win, or 1 unit or less, Right? I think technically I could have won off of if he cleared 2 units. So like if he had, like a Palpatine or something, I could have still won. But I'm like, if he heals, I don't think I have enough damage. So I was like, I'm going to call Walker. And if he's got a barrage, I pretty much lose. And he had the barrage and cleaned my entire board. But well played to him. Like I said, it's no hard feelings. I ended up, walking out of there with a good chunk of change in dual dollars. But yeah, so that was my 2K deck list of Krennic Green and how the day went. So let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video if you would so please, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Till next time, peace.